All right, Shalom, Shalom, first and foremost. I want to give double honors to the apostles, elders, and great millstone, rule on teach world, and already Shalom to the elect. All right, for the camp day. Through the spirit, like, how about you, John? All right, and we're gonna go wherever the Lord allows me to go. All right, and I'm gonna start off in this Jeremiah 17. This is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 1. It says, the sin of Judah is written with a pen and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horn of their altars. All right, so that the sin, whatever it may be, all right, within you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, it's engraved in you, man. All right, it's in you, because that's what you're going to do. All right, we are subject to going contrary and living contrary to the Lord. All right, but within us being subject to living contrary to the Lord has had mercy unto us. Okay, but verse 2 it says, while their children remember the altars and their groves by the green trees upon the hills, O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil, and thy high places for sin throughout all thy borders. All right, so those talking about idol worshiping instances, man. All right, when we would go sacrifice and worship to other gods, man. All right. It says here in verse 4, it says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For you have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Right? And that's what we did. We have walked contrary to the Lord throughout the whole existence of the nation of Israel, starting when Moses had delivered us out of Egypt, right? When we got out of Egypt, we went right to the golden calf because we said Moses ain't coming back down, right? When he went up there to talk to the Lord. And when we got into the land, we idol worship, which I'm going to get. This is Judges chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh and served Baalim. And they forsook Yahweh their power of Yahweh power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked Yahweh to anger. All right, and that's what we did. We did that, and us doing that has got us in a situation where we are here today in America. Okay, where we're under captivity in the hands of the so-called white man. All right, we're not under hardcore slavery anymore. All right, as we were in the past, but we are still in slavery today. All right, we are in slavery today. All right, slavery is not physical how it was back in the day. Today is mental. All right, and it's still physical because you got to get up and go to work, but it's mental in regards to you are being bombarded with, for one instance, information, and that information, if it's contrary to the Lord, how about you outside, it's not beneficial to you. And with that information that you get, whether it be from the airwaves, via music, via the television, via radio, your cell phone, from social media, those, if they're wicked instances of wicked information, it'll cause you to do something contrary to the Lord, right? Such as idol worshiping, going up to these churches, praising and talking about white man Jesus, all right? Things of that nature, all right, have got us here to where we are in America today, all right? Held captive, all right? Destroyed out of, our families' dynamic has been destroyed. I was listening to, I can't remember what brother it was, maybe it was Elder Yashawamba and the brothers in Dallas, but they were saying, or he was saying that You don't even get a godfather or godmother anymore, right? Where they used to like slip you some money. That's true. That shit is true. I got some kids and they don't got no godparents, but I remember when I was growing up, I had godparents, But nonetheless, the family structure, right? For you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, especially for you northern, southern kingdom tribes, right? More particularly the so-called Negroes, that family structure has been broken up, all right, by the welfare system, um, by feminism, okay, just basically by wickedness, man. Anything that can separate the people from their Lord, that's what has brought down the structure of the black family, all right, to show you that we are still in slavery, right? Because we are subject to what goes on around us, man, all right. Nonetheless, this is Judges 2:13, and they forsook Yahweh and served Baal and Ashtaroth, and the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could no longer stand before their enemies. Whether so they went out, the hand of Yahweh was against them for evil, as Yahweh had said, and as Yahweh had sworn against them, and they were greatly distressed. And here we are in the great distress, man, in the hands of our enemies. As an example I just gave, the family structure is broken up by feminism, by the welfare system, and things of that nature, man. All right, you got the education system that's not really teaching the children how to function in the world, but how to be a puppet in the world, right? You go to work. You go to school every day. Once you get into that school system, they teach you things that is only beneficial for you to learn within that setting. Because the things that you learn in high school and elementary school and middle school, you don't use it outside of school. All right. And if there are some instances where you use things such as counting and counting money, but that's probably the most of it. Math, that's probably the most of it. English, that's probably the most of it. All right. Other than that, the education system is not educating you, man. True and proper education is growth, okay? True and proper education has a benefit to you in the long run. Esau's education system has no benefit to you because at the end of it, all you do is become into debt. That's it. You become in debt. You got your college degree, your master's degree, your PhD, whatever it may be. But you hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt. And if you can't pay those college loans, it affects your credit. And if your credit is affected, you can't live. You can't buy a house. You can't, get a car. You can't do things that are required for you to survive in a place where it's not meant for you to survive. Okay? All right? That's what happens when we as the people of the Lord transgress his ways and got put into the hands of the spoiler that spoiled us, man. All right, we subject to things like their shitty education system, the shitty food. All right, we are subject to a lot of stuff. I forgot where to go. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 30. And verse 1, it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, says Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that take cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin." So when you sit here and you trust in America, you trust in the next wicked man that's to your right or to your left, or you trust in Esau, Edom, all you doing, all right, if they're not teaching you or educating you on how to move in a proper way, all you doing is adding sin unto sin, meaning that you're chasing and following behind iniquity, right, or wickedness, okay? All right, it says, that walked to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. All right, so hey, you trust in Esau, his education system. You trust in his workforce system. You trust in the federal government. You see how they doing, motherfuckers now, right? Um, let's see. You trust in the money system. You trust your job. You trust the people around you. You trust the government. I'm trying to think. What else, all that. You trust. You just trust in the world, man. Right? And the things in it. You celebrate the holidays. You do things that are contrary to the Lord, which shows that you trust in Egypt. You go down to to the federal government to get permission to do things that are contrary to the Lord, like going into the court system to get married. In that sense, man, that's not how marriage is. All right, marriage isn't going to Esau's court system in front of a judge or in front of a one of those clergy members or a pastor and get a ring put on your hand and say I do, to death do you part, and then as soon as y'all get about the goddamn courthouse, y'all go down the road, sometime later y'all fussing and fighting, but marriage is sex, man. Okay, when the scriptures say he went into her and he knew her, to know somebody or to know something means to have a special relationship with, right? But to have a special relationship with somebody in regards to sexual intercourse, you're putting your rod inside of her vagina. That's right? That's marriage, man, right? Because that's when you become one with somebody, right? But it says here, verse 3, this is Isaiah 30:3. It says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." All right, because guess what? The Lord is tearing this place apart, man, and He's going to fully here shortly, man. Sooner rather than later, I hope. Any so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, all right, that does not want America destroyed, you got some mental retardation going on within you, man, all right? Because I want America destroyed. All the other believers of the same doctrine that I'm teaching, I want America destroyed. We don't need to and want to trust in Egypt. We trust and need to trust in Yahweh Shem Shai, because the Lord is our power, man. He is the power of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, okay? This is Jeremiah 30:9. It says, "This is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits." And you have Israelite camps that hold on to that, where they don't teach you the names of the Lord, where they don't tell you what the MOTB is, all right? In which we know that it is the RFID CHIP, man, okay? But you have Israelite groups out there that do not tell their congregation that very important piece of information, okay? They want smooth things. They want to hear that America's going to keep going. They want to hear that salvation is for everybody, including Esau, okay? Including Esau, which is not the case, all right? There is no salvation for the so-called white man, all right? There is no salvation for this devil, man. Okay, there's nothing that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians or any other nation can say that will change the Lord's mind. The Lord has it set up where there's no mercy given unto Esau, man. All right, so if you are clinging to an Israelite group, camp, or a bunch of people that teach Esau can be saved, all right, don't listen to them, man, because there's no salvation for the wicked of Esau either, man. There's no salvation for him. All right, Obadiah tells you that, man. All right, this is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 17. It says here, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession. Okay, so all the resources, all right, they have, all right, we're gonna own them we're gonna own them as well as slaves, as they had us as slaves, man. Okay, all right, they're gonna be picking cotton and all this other crazy stuff that which is going to be a righteousness that we're going to do unto them, man. Okay, all right. Verse 18, it says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not any be remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken. So if there's not anything remaining of the house of Esau after their destruction, how can they be delivered? Even 2/3 of our people, they're gonna come back into the kingdom. Are these other nations that's going to be subject unto us, all right? They're going to be in the kingdom, all right? But us, we're going to live forever because we're going to have the law, statutes, commandments placed in our inward parts. And these other nations, they're just going to be subject unto us. But Esau, he's going to be gone. He's going to be done away with forever, all right? The Lord has set up his time to be from the beginning of his reign, with the Greek Empire, because the Greeks, they're Edomites, all right? Alexander the Great, he's an Edomite, all right? His seed line goes back to, I think it's Agag, all right? Agag, all right? Which is an Edomite, all right? Then that's when, the Edomite reign throughout the four corners of the globe started, and it went into the Roman Empire. Now it's here in the American Empire, all right, the revised Roman Empire. You can tell that it's revised because look at the structures that were around in the Roman time period and compared to now. Same face, all right? Structures have the same face, okay? All right? All right, same face, same layout, okay? All right. I'm sure the same weird sexual deviant acts were still going on in Rome that's happening here in America, okay? All right. But there's not going to be any mercy for Esau, man. It even says that in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. So you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians that want to hold on to a slave master, I pray that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua kills you with him, man. All right? you go. This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. It says Edom figures predominantly in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments, notably Isaiah 34:5 and 6 and Isaiah 63:1. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from Yahweh. Okay, so with Esau not being able to receive any mercy from the Lord, will definitely not be able to be delivered. Okay, especially after all the wicked shit that this motherfucker has done throughout the world and to the Lord's people, ain't no way. Okay, let's go get those two scriptures, man. Isaiah 34. This is Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 1. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it." And the words of the Lord are going to be spread throughout the four corners of the globe, man. All right, via the internet. All right, via the men pushing and teaching the truth. All right, via the Holy Spirit, man. Via Yahweh's sacrifice, via the will of the Heavenly Father. All right, the word of the Lord is going to go throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, and with it going throughout the four corners of the globe, the elect will be sealed. Okay, all right. Verse 2, it says, "For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter." You can read Isaiah 63:1. You can read 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. And we can get into that. All right? Because the shit that Esau Edom has done to the Lord's people is beyond ridiculous, man. And people within that mindset are saying that he can be saved or, delivered is fucking crazy, man. All right? That's fucking crazy. Like the scriptures say, the Lord can have mercy on whomever he chooses to have mercy on, but he ain't choosing to have mercy on Esau. Esau gave up his birthright, and with him giving up his birthright, guess what? He lost out, man. He lost the fuck out. And call all Yahweh Shem Shai for allowing this to be, Esau's, lot, right? Where he would give up his birthright because he was hungry, for some chili or whatever pottage may be, whatever that may be, I'm not sure what kind of food pottage is, but whatever it is good enough for Esau to, give up his birthright and to follow Yahweh Shem Shai for it. To Isaiah or Yeshaya. All right, this is Isaiah 34 and 3. It says, "Their slain also shall be cast out of the earth." Salakia, the slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. So the Lord's going to destroy all of Esau's armies, man. All right? The armies in Russia, the armies in Ukraine, every nation that has an army that the Lord's going to put the spirit on them to fight against it, he's going to destroy them, man. All right? And we're going to get that in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, Yahweh Dazah, okay? Verse 5, it says here, "For my blood shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment." So the judgment for Esau Edom, all right, via Yahweh Shina Shai, all right, is destruction, man. All right. It's going to be destruction in the form of all-out war. All right. And when you look into history, all right, when one civilization was taken down and another one was brought up, it happened because war happened behind it. A kingdom was taken down because of war. All right. So what I mean by this, right? So picture that statue that Nebuchadnezzar had that dream of that Daniel broke down to him, right? You had the head of gold, which was the Babylonian Empire. They were taken out by King Cyrus in the Battle of Opis, okay? All right. America's gonna be taken down in World War III, okay? All right. Where did it go? All right. The Medo-Persian Empire, all right, it was taken down by Alexander the Great in 330 BC after the Battle of Gargamel. I think I'm saying it right. That's how that empire was taken down, right? America's going to be taken down by let's see if it's thermonuclear fire, man. All right. Nonetheless, all right, every kingdom's going to come up and come down, all right? The Lord set it up that way, all right? This is Daniel. This is Daniel chapter 4 and verse 17. It says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth over the basis of men." All right, that's what but the Lord gives the kingdom of the world to whoever he wants it to. All right, and he gave this one to Esau. All right. But nonetheless, we go back to Isaiah 34. All right, this is Isaiah 34 and 6. It says, "The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood, it is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams, and for Yahweh have they sacrificed in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea." All right, so the Lord's going to be killing a lot of people, man. A lot of people are going to die. all right? A lot of people are going to die, all right? A lot of people are going to be slaughtered, all right? And that's because when they had the chance to repent, they didn't take it seriously, man. All right, I'm speaking to myself before I'm speaking to anybody else. We need to take this grace opportunity, this grace period is what brothers call it. Seriously, man, the Lord has given us an opportunity to return to him, all right, by way of this word, by way of his mercy, all right? And we need to take advantage of it, man, by acknowledging our transgressions, all right? First, by understanding what transgressions are and who can transgress, all right? Once you understand what transgressions are, who can transgress them, your next step in the repenting process, all right, is to ask the Lord for forgiveness for your transgression, all right? This is 1 John chapter 1 verse 9. It says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness, all right? So that's what we must do. We must confess them, man. So in the repenting process, all right, understand the laws, right? Not saying that you're going to keep them, all right? But understand where you can and how you can and can't move, man, all right? Which means you need to get up in the book and read, all right? The scriptures say, blessed is he that readeth in Revelation, right? You understand and are aware of where you transgress it, right? You confess that to the Lord and say, Yahweh Shem Al Shah, forgive me for X, Y, Z, all right? Put the spirit on me to not do it again, And when that opportunity arises for you to, fall short in that category again, think upon the Lord, all right? Think upon Yahweh Shem Al Shah. Think about, what your last end is going to be because you do this thing, all right? This transgression, okay? All right? So know your transgressions, acknowledge them, right? Confess them to the Lord and don't do them again. These are the actions that we need to be taking while we're in this grace period, all right? Myself first and foremost, okay? Because we don't want to end up like 2/3 of our people who are going to be joined hand unto hand with Esau when the Lord comes down here to kill that nigga. All right. Verse 7, it says, this is Isaiah 34:7, it says, and the unicorn shall come down with him, and the bullocks with bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. All right, so for the cause of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the Lord is going to destroy your enemies, man. All right? The Lord is going to wholly destroy this land, this wicked land, man. All right? The Lord is wholly going to destroy Esau, all right? Verse 9, it says here, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. And it's going to happen that way because of thermonuclear missiles, man, that Russia's going to shoot over here, North Korea's going to shoot over here, China's going to shoot over here, Iran, and wherever else the Lord is going to allow his sword to be drawn from to be shot here in America, man, all right? Because it is the Lord's sword that's coming down here, man, and destroying our enemy, all right? Those thermonuclear missiles are his sword, man, all right? There was this issue a couple of weeks ago where Iran and America was striking a deal in regards to Iran's nuclear capabilities and what they can make and can't make. Esau wants to control what other nations can and can't do, but nobody has any restrictions on what he can and can't do. All right. My point in saying that is the Lord's going to allow Iran to build up what they need to build up to destroy America, man. All right. These other nations, they don't got it, man. All right. The Lord is in control of everybody and everything. All right. It says in Job. I'm gonna grab it right quick. Right here. This is Job chapter 30. This is Job chapter 33 verse 15. And the dream and the vision of the night when deep sleep falls upon men and slumbers upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. Right? That he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. Right? So listen, the Lord is in control of what we do and what we don't do. There's no such thing as free will. Okay? All right, there's no such thing as free will. So Iran is going to build up whatever capabilities that the Lord wants them to have, right? And those nuclear weapons are going to be used here in America, right? This is Jeremiah 25. And verse 30, it says, therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, Yahweh shall roar from on high and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth from Yahweh. For Yahweh has a controversy with the nations. And what's that controversy, man? How they treated the Lord's people. How they continue to treat the Lord's people, right? It says here, he will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith Yahweh. And pleading, it goes into judgment, man, all right? It says here, verse 32, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of Yahweh shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented nor buried, nor gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. All right, the Lord's gonna do a slaughtering, man. The Lord's gonna do a killing. All right, the Lord's gonna do a mass killing. All right, and what they like to say, genocide. Let me look at that word. Genocide, apparently coined by Polish U.S. jurist Raphael whoever. All right, it says killing a tribe, race, kind. All right. All right. Generally speaking, genocide does not necessarily mean the immediate destruction of a nation, except when accomplished by mass killings of all members of a nation. Right? So mass killings of a member of a nation, mass killings of members of a nation. All right. It is intended rather to signify a coordinated plan of different actions amid at destruction of essential foundations of the life of national groups, which aim at annihilating the groups themselves. So you can attack the person's infrastructure, you can attack the person's resources, you can even attack the person, right? And the Lord's gonna do all that. He's gonna take Esau's resources, he's gonna take Esau down, he's gonna take these nations down, he's gonna do it all, man. The Lord's gonna do a mass genocide, man. All right, the Lord's gonna do a lot of killing. Okay, all right. Let me go back to Jeremiah. Verse 10, this is Isaiah 34:10. It shall not be quenched day nor night, the smoke thereof shall go up forever from generation to generation. It shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. It's talking about how America's going to be after the Lord drops thermonuclear missiles on this place, man. All right? The Lord's going to drop thermonuclear missiles on this place. And it's going to, the smoke of it is going to be around forever. Nobody's going to pass through here. Nobody's going to even want to come through here, okay? All right? It says here, but the cormorant, and the bittern shall possess it, the owl also, and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. So you're not gonna be able to know where what was where. You're not gonna be able to tell Texas from goddamn New Mexico or from Texas from Georgia. You know, it's gonna be crazy over here, right? Verse 12, it says, they shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there. All her princes shall be nothing. And the thorns shall come up in her palaces, and nettles and brimbles in the fortresses thereof. And it shall be a habitation of dragons and a court of owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellows, and the screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There will be vultures. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with her mate. All right, there's going to be all kind of, you know, different animals out here. There's going to be all kind of different things going on, man, after America's wholly destroyed. Wholly destroyed, man, okay? All right, there's not going to be any recuperation to this corporation called the United States of America, man, all right? It says here, this is Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. None of these shall fail. And what are these? These prophecies, man. None of the prophecies of Yahweh Shemel Shai are going to come by the wayside and not be completed, okay? Let me get something. This is Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 20. Verse 22 says, Son of man, what is that proverb that you hear in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? Tell them, therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. But say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. So the Lord is saying, hey, Jake out there talking shit, saying that, hey, I'm not gonna my prophecies, the things that I'm saying will not come to pass. Well, guess what, Jake? And you other non-believers, things are coming to pass, and things will come to pass. Verse 25 says, for I am Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass, and it shall no more be prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say Yahweh, will I say the word, and will perform it, says Yahweh. Power. So Lord, it's gonna, so everything that's written within this book, man, all right, everything is going to come to pass, man. It's going, okay? Words of Yahweh Shemel Shai, they're going to come to pass, whether people believe it or not, all right? And we're not here, all right? Well, I'm not here for people to believe, I'm here for the elected believe. I'm not here for people to not, I'm not here for people to not believe, man, okay? All right? I'm here for people to believe, okay? The word of the Lord is out here for people to believe. When I say people, I mean people that's of the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? that's who this word is for, and that's who's only going to believe in this word anyway. All right. Verse 26, it says, again, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesies of things of the times that are far off. Therefore say unto them, thus saith Yahweh, there shall be no more words, there shall none of my words be prolonged anymore, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith Yahweh. So when we read prophecies in regards to the destruction of America, we can't personally per se when it's going to happen, but we do know that it is going to happen. Okay, all right. But that is Isaiah 34. All right, so continuing in Isaiah 34:16, it says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. None of these shall fail, none shall want her mate, for my mouth hath it commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. So all the things that the Lord said is going to come to pass, they're going to come to pass. I just read it in Ezekiel 12 as well. All right, so since we're on the subject of talking about America, going out the door, because you can look at it and see that it's on its way out, man. This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 1. It says, after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils. And as we read in Isaiah the 34th chapter. All right, and the hold of every foul spirit and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Right, we just read that in Isaiah 34. It says, for all the nations have drunken of her wine, have drunken of the wine of her wrath. For all the nations have drunken of the wine of her wrath, of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. All right, so these other nations tied into, the principalities and the legislations and policies of America, how they're enforced on these other nations. An example, these other nations, in order to receive USAID or funding from America, they would have to take on, the plot of pushing homosexuality through their nation, to their people. All right, for America's assistance. All right, that's one way. All right, these nations have committed fornication with America. All right, it says here, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. And in order to come up out of Babylon or America, all right, is to stop doing the things that make you a Babylonian, that make you a Gentile, that make you an American. All right, celebrating your birthday, celebrating these holidays. I sound like a broken record, which is cool. I'm cool with that. Constantly saying the same thing over and over again, because you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, y'all are hard-headed. So things have to be repeated to y'all. All right, things have to be repeated to y'all, okay? And while things are being repeated to y'all, it's going in one ear and out the other. But for those that are going to take heed and listen to the words of the Lord, all you got to do is turn back to him. I had spoke earlier about repentance and what it means and how to do it, all right? The same concept applies here, man. All right, when you see a nationally celebrated, globally celebrated holiday, what you need not do is to celebrate that holiday, man. Okay, that's what you need not do, because celebrating these holidays, all right, you got Easter coming up, man. That's contrary to the Lord, man. All right, the Passover already happened. We celebrated the Passover last month. Some people are celebrating the Passover this month, but the Passover is not about, hiding eggs that came from a rabbit and, kids eating candy and all that shit. No, man, the Passover, all right, is a very serious holiday, man. where the Lord smote all the firstborn in Egypt, man, and passed over those that had that blood over their doorposts. All right, these holidays are not what you need to be celebrating, man. All right, that's one way to come up out of America, man. All right, and then ultimately, all right, trusting in, believing in how about Shema outside, man, believing in the Lord. All right, this is Revelation chapter 18, and oh, you know what? So it says here for you, so you cannot receive none of her plagues. What are some of the plagues that's going to come to America, man? World War III, thermonuclear destruction, all right, famine, pestilence and disease. You see with all these individuals losing their jobs out here, all right, and the workforce, you know, shrinking as far as the amount of jobs that's out here. All right, people are not going to be able to pay their bills, pay their rent, feed their family. What do you think that's going to come across? What do you think is going to come for that? People are going to be robbing, looting, and stealing, man. All right, killing and destroying. Like it says in Second Ezra, man, people are going to be, they're not going to have any love for their neighbor, man. They're going to be spoiling and destroying, man. They're going to try to feed and take care of their family. So that's another plague that's going to come. And then you're going to have cannibalism come. All right, anything that you see on TV in regards to the end of the world, that's how it's going to be. But it's going to be 10 times worse, man, because we're not living in the television. We living in reality, okay? Verse 5, it says here, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and power, which the name is Yahweh, has remembered her iniquities. Now, what is some of her iniquities, man? Look at what Esau, the so-called white man, has done to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. Yep, he did this to y'all. He did this right here. This is sin upon sin. All right, because what was he doing to y'all on these slave ships, man? Raping the women. All right, throwing y'all overboard. All right, and y'all, we just went through a lot of nonsense on the slave ships. All right, I'm trying to find the one with Gad, man. Another thing that he did, he painted himself to be the Lord. Now look at this, all right? This is what Abraham Lincoln did. It says here, this picture depicts the execution of 39 Native Americans, all right? The execution was ordered by Abraham Lincoln, all right? They was charged with treaty violating, all right, for hunting off their assigned reservation. Well, guess what? Also pushing, you know, Gad onto them reservations. If you read that book, not Devastation of Indians, but that's a good one. The book Trail of Tears, man. Or you can watch the documentary on Trail of Tears and see how Esau set up those Indian boarding schools to get the people to take the people out of their true and original nature, right? Which was being, they called us being savages, but you know, being people of the earth, man, being people of the land, all right, living off the land, not erecting buildings which ultimately push the wildlife out of their area, and people were able to come here and, you know, populate the place, which was cool. But he destroyed rainforests. Things that this white man has done a lot of shit, man. All right, and it's to the point where it's so much you can't even name everything, man. All right, but this is Revelation 18:6. It says, "Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she has filled to her double." So, hey, the Lord's gonna give you so-called white people double, man. Y'all had us in captivity for what, 400 years or whatever the case may be, 500 years, probably longer than that. And the Lord's gonna have y'all in captivity for 1,000 years. That's what it says in Revelation 20, 21 and 4. Okay. All right. Verse 7, it says, "How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she hath said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow." America has not had any outside country, to my knowledge, not had any outside country come into this land and cause war on it since America has been established in 1776. All right, no outside country has come to cause war on the shores and the land of America. America has started wars, or other countries have started wars, and America has gone there physically or reached over there, financially. But none of that has come here to America. So when the Lord brings war to this man's doorstep, there's going to be a lot of sorrow. There's going to be a lot of crying and screaming and hollering, man. All right. Verse 8, it says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh power who judges her. All right, and that fire is going to come from these thermonuclear missiles, man. If you pay attention to the news, all right, you hear all types of stuff of talking about nuclear war, World War III. I had mentioned earlier the Iran and U.S. Nuclear deal that they're trying to strike. U.S. is trying to put on to Iran, all right, which caused some controversy in the last couple of weeks. It's a lot of stuff going on, man. And these nations are these tariffs, man. That's another big thing. These tariffs that Trump is causing to be put on these other nations, it's only going to affect you people here. It's only going to affect you people here, all right? Because I seen a TikTok where those factories over there in China, because of those tariffs, those factories over there in China, they stopped working. So how you dumbass Americans gonna get y'all shit that y'all want if it's not manufactured here already? If it's not manufactured and being brought here already, since the production stopped, guess what that's gonna do? That things are gonna be in high in demand but low and lowly produced. Things are gonna skyrocket, man. All right, but it's all part of the dwindling system of America going down the drain, man. Okay. Verse 9, it says, Revelation 18:9, it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off from the for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls, fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of precious wood and of brass and iron and marble, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. All right, those are all resources, man. All right, and these resources, they were being pushed and populated or pushed and used throughout the four corners of the globe, man. Whether it was people or some cinnamon or some silk, whether it came from or out of America. All right, these resources, they're going to be turned over to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians when the Lord sets up the kingdom, man. All right? It says here, and the fruits that the soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all the things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made by rich, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich, all that the and the seed by reason of her costliness for 1 hour is made desolate. The Lord gonna come through here and do America dirty in 1 hour, man. All right, quickly. All right. It says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh hath revenged her on you. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. And that's what we out here to do. I'm out here to do, and there's brothers everywhere else, all right, to herald in the coming of Yahweh Shem Yahushai's kingdom, man, and the destruction of America, man. All right, because at the end of the day, that's what the gospel. That's what majority of some of the gospel is about, man. All right, the Lord and His kingdom being ruled, being in the rulership seat. All right, the salvation and who the salvation is for, which is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and the destruction of our enemies, man. All right, that's what the gospel is about, man. And of course, repenting and turning back to the Lord. But that's only for the people that's on this sign, man. All right, and if your seed line goes back to the people on this sign, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then you're good. But if not, then you're not good, man. All right, you're just gonna be a slave in the kingdom unless you're an Edomite, a so-called white man. You're gonna be out of here, man. All right, but Lord will y'all is edified, man. Till the next time, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, by Shem Yahushua. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, a hearty shalom to the elect. Kwam Yasharala, Mawaf Lababah, Yahweh Mahar Habashai Nawab, Shabbat Shalom.